All organizations have one number, their most important number, and that tells them whether they're winning or losing. Consider it's the game scoreboard. And it's just like in sports. No matter how many baskets or touchdowns you make, it's not the stats of the player, it's what's on the scoreboard. And it's that score that drives the plays. In business, that one number drives the right behaviors. Some of those behaviors should be about continually improving the work done so that you are continually improving that most important number. These are evergreen drivers, and most companies are quick to focus on drivers like marketing process, sales process, or the fulfillment process. But there are 5 drivers or categories of work that most CEOs and their senior leadership teams ignore. One of them is an evergreen driver that most companies don't leverage to the degree they should, and it's called the referral process. Now, when we have satisfied customers, we should be intentionally asking for referrals. There is no more powerful sales conversation than a recommendation from a trusted friend or colleague who endorses your product or service. It's a qualified lead that comes in with no marketing cost. And another driver often ignored is the customer retention process. Too often, all of our energy goes into acquiring the customer and then fulfilling on our commitment. But a satisfied customer is most likely to continue buying if you continue to improve the perceived and actual value they receive from your product or service. So they stay with you and they tell others about you, feeding right back into your referral process and increasing the leverage it has on improving your most important number. Most ignored driver number 3 is standard operating procedures. It's critical to have a documented, common way of doing things for several reasons. One, if everyone is doing something different, it's actually impossible to improve on the process. And in execution of products or services without standardization, quality is going to be inconsistent. Standard operating procedures serve as a great training aid when bringing on new people, dramatically reducing their onboarding time and providing a better onboarding experience. The process should include a regular review of the documented process to identify what's working well, what needs improvement, and then incorporate any of the needed changes into the SOP. A solid playbook of SOPs for setting strategy, sales, marketing, reporting, etc. will dramatically reduce chaos and increase communication and quality in all areas of any organization. Most ignored driver number 4 is my favorite, and one that most companies struggle to understand its impact on their most important number, and that is culture. Any organization has a culture. It's either healthy or it's toxic, or somewhere in between. But as a driver, it's intentional culture. Culture is made up of the core beliefs, behaviors, decisions, practices, and accountability from which the organization creates value. It's not the slogans on the posters. It's what's lived out in doing our work day in and day out. Intentional culture is about how we get every employee to apply these core values to how they carry out the work in a way that improves both the customer experience and their fellow employees' experience, and ultimately, profitability. And most ignored driver number 5 is the one most find rather boring, and that is structure, roles, and responsibilities. It's often ignored because that in an organization, there is an organizational structure that exists. And 2, roles and their job descriptions are in the HR file somewhere. But the real question here is, with this driver, if all the work, all the decisions, and all the actions are focused on improving our most important number, do we really have the structure we need in place to achieve our desired outcome? Does each role just have responsibilities identified, or does it have outcome-based responsibilities? In other words, what does each role deliver? Each role usually has between 2 and 4 objectively measured outcome-based responsibilities. The beauty of this comes at evaluation time. It is immediately obvious whether they're achieving these outcomes, whether they're struggling or they're a rock star. So don't make the mistake most senior leaders do. If you get these 5 drivers right, the referral process, customer retention process, standard operating procedures, intentional culture, and structure roles and responsibilities, you will significantly increase the value your organization creates over time, and therefore the profitability of your business. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel so we can continue to bring you great content.